And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump in to our presentation for the end of the year finances. One quick reminder that please keep your microphones on mute and your cameras turned off. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. What are we talking about today? Jen is going to teach us all we need to know about the best practices for the end of the year reporting, which reports to run, how to manipulate them to show what you need, and much more. So we got some exciting topics today and hopefully some very helpful topics for you. Who is giving this presentation? Well, that is Jen, our ruler of reporting knowledge. And I am Andrew, your friendly neighborhood moderator, and I will be talking with you guys in the chat throughout. As a quick reminder, we want to thank you for joining us today. And for any of your questions with RecDesk, feel free to check out our support center, or you can contact our support team at support@recdesk.com for any of your non-financial end of year questions or anything we just don't happen to get a chance to cover today. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Jen.
Thanks very much, Andrew. Hang on one moment while I take the screen from you.
Absolutely.
Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining us here today. So I know a lot of you are either in the midst or getting ready to start that end of year reporting. I know some of you have different fiscal years than others, so we like to do this as a yearly reminder. So I'm going to go over a whole bunch of reports that are going to be able to give you the financial information that you're looking for. And hang on one moment, I got logged out. Sorry about that, everyone. So I'm actually going to start in the reports tab, just so I can point out some of the more important reports that are here that you may be asked to run for your financial department or for any of your higher ups or for different divisions in your town. Under the Money tab, under Revenue by Period, if you do the detailed version and you do not use general ledger codes, this is another report that is going to be able to pull information for you. And it'll give you a breakdown by programs, memberships, facility reservations, so on and so forth. And if you do the detailed version and scroll down, it will break down per membership, per facility, as well as the other items. Now, if you use general ledger codes, the general ledger report is definitely the way to go. Now, for some of you groups, you ask for a revenue by program. Now, please note, I don't have that many programs in here. So these are, oh, I actually need to go out a little bit further. There we go. This would give me all the programs that had program dates within this time period. So for those of you looking for programs and how much revenue they brought in, this would be the report to run. That's going by the schedule dates. Then you select the programs that you would like to run this report on and generate the report. This will give you a breakdown of each program and how much funding you brought in. If on your program you are tracking expenses, please note it's in the far right column and it will be accounted when you run this report. Some groups will run financial transaction detail reports because their finance department or an outside auditing department would like to see a list of all the payments you received as well as the transaction reference numbers. The financial transaction details report, when you export to Excel, will have a column that will have your financial transaction reference numbers that you can use within your payment processor to go searching. That's going to be this column here. And if I widen it, I can read the number right here. This is how you can search within your processor for any information or to do that back and forth during auditing times. Now, please note, there is a bunch of other information on here as well that may be able to be sufficient for what it is that your auditors are seeking. And then another report that I really like to bring up during this end of year reporting is under memberships by period list. This is something that you can run, and it's going to tell you how many members have joined during that time period. If you need a specific date range, please email us at support@recdesk.com and we can run that specific date range for you. But as you can see, it'll give you a breakdown of your new primaries and all new. The difference here, for those of you who have family memberships where it includes multiple people, think of the primaries as the number of households and the number of all new being all the participants in that membership. Now on the reports tab, we also have two super fun reports: account activity. Now, if you need a bigger time period, again, shoot us an email. We can run the report for you for the time periods that you need. You just need to tell us the dates. And this will tell you an overall view of how your organization is doing and how much you're utilizing RecDesk, whether it's online, in-house, as well as some other demographic breakdown. There's also a facility utilization report. This type of report is something that you can run for a certain period of time and see how much your facilities are being used. So I can see right here that my storage area is available for 60 days, available hours, 540, and I've only used it 50% of the time. Now, if that number seems off to you, click on that facility name and click on edit. Make sure you scroll down and verify that your hours of operation truly match your hours of operation, because that report is going to be based off of this information. So if you accidentally forgot that you are closed on Mondays and on Tuesdays you don't start until noon, make sure you change that information. Because as you can see, when I go to rerun that report, now that utilization has gone up and the available days have gone down. So keep that in mind when you are looking at this report. And this report is something that you can export to Excel just in case you do need that. Now, before I move on to other reports that you can pull from other tabs, does anyone have any questions here in the reports tab?
So far, we've not received any questions, but as a reminder, if any questions come up during the presentation, please put them in the chat. I'm also going to go ahead and post the support information on here as well, in case you guys do want to email us to get the year-end report.
Thanks, Andrew. All right, so now I'm actually going to move from left to right with some other reports. On the point of sale tab, for those of you who are using point of sale, maybe you're tracking inventory or you're just doing daily sales out of there, whatever sales you may have going on. If during that time period you need to be able to say, this is how many items I sold and the revenue I should have generated, go to the point of sale tab, then locations, and select your location. You do need to run per location for this. And you can go into item history, change your time period, and as you can see, it's going to list any items that you had, if there's a starting inventory, ending, how many units were sold, and the revenue. Now, just in case you're wondering, any of these type of reports that do not have an export to Excel option to them, if you click on the bottom right and drag to the top left and copy, this will paste it better in Excel so that you're able to have that information in a different area. So you can print it out or reframe it, restructure it, however you need for your reporting purposes. Now, one report that I do actually get asked that I always go over really quickly is these reports right here are nice for those groups who just need to be able to see what programs they ran during that year. This report, you can filter here. You can even hit show advanced options if you wanted to filter it more, but you can then export this list to Excel if you need a list of all the programs that you had run during a certain period of time. Now, memberships is a very interesting area to also go over really quickly, as this area is going to have the list of membership members, which I know some groups will run to see who actively had a membership during a certain period of time. But other groups, you'll use this report to do membership check-ins. Oops, I think I clicked on one that doesn't have any check-ins. There we go. Membership check-ins. If you have a specific membership that you want to track the check-in details for, this information is what you want to export to Excel. You can download check-in information, and it does give you quite a bit, so you can choose, do I need the person's name, or are you really just looking to see what days of the week people are going there? Is it more men than women? You can even add date of birth if you'd like, so that you can try to do an age. Custom member filters, just so everyone is aware. If this type of report is something for silver sneakers or active fit or whatever it may be called now, I apologize. There are so many of those out there. And you have asked us to add a custom field to your members' profiles so that you can enter those custom questions, or for those of you who asked for custom questions because you have grants, so you need us to gather certain demographic information like ethnicity and race as part of the profile. If this extract is one that you need, especially for any of those reasons, please make sure you leave the custom questions box checked off. That box is going to pull all of those special fields. Now, you don't necessarily need to have these items checked off. However, some groups, I do know that I've heard from you that you really want to track programs, check-ins by programs. Which programs are the more popular? Which ones aren't? How many people are coming to those ones? This extract can give you that information as well. And all it does is pull the information to Excel. So that you can play in here with the data. Now, before we get into certain Excel tricks, I'm going to go into the last area of memberships before I get into facilities. Now, list of membership members. If you hit the show advanced options, this is how you can run a report if you're trying to look for anyone who's had a membership with active dates within the last year. Make sure you change the status, because remember, if their membership was in the past, they would have expired. Active ones will show if they are still current. So make sure you verify with both reports, especially if you may have overlapping dates. Now, before I get into the facilities tab, reporting, are there any new questions that have come in?
Nope, there are no new questions at the moment, Jen.
Awesome. All right, so on the facilities tab, there is reservation search. This report, you can put in your date range that you need. Your facilities, please note there is a limit for the date range. And what you're able to do here is actions and export this information to Excel. Now this one, I like to play with the data a little bit. If I wanted to know what days of the week are more popular for rentals than others, because this is a date and not a day of the week, I have to do a minor change. Now, if you happen to have an open column that you're not using the information for, you can just use this or right click and click on Insert to add a new column. Now I'm just going to stick right here because there was no setup time. And I'm going to use a text formula because I want to convert this to the day of the week. Now, if I do 3 Ds, just so you know, and I'll show you this. There we go. If you do 3 Ds, it will short name the day of the week. If you do 4 Ds, it will give you the full day. And remember in Excel, if you want a formula to drag down, when you're in the cell, double click the bottom right and it'll drag the formula down. Now, the reason I do stuff like that is when I click this plus button for a new sheet, I can go to this insert and then pivot table. And that lets me select all these columns, mainly because I don't feel like picking and choosing right now, so that I can do a report. If I wanted to know which facility, now remember setup time is the day of the week, so I'm going to do that as my columns. Brought in the most revenue, then here in the values, I can give that type of a breakdown. I dropped that in the wrong one. Sorry about that. You'll be able to see which day of the week is your most profitable day of the week. Now, as you can see, I've got some other items in here where I can, instead of looking at fees, if I wanted to remove that field, there is one. Let's just say I wanted to look at it by start time. You're going to be able to do multiple polls here, see multiple reasons, and have this type of report that you can play around with way more than you can within RecDesk. Hang on one moment, my mouse got stuck there. And that's one of my favorite reports to also recommend for those groups who maybe need to account how much money and revenue is brought in for reservations during specific months. If you're having people pay ahead of time, this would be a report you'd be able to pull out to see which months are the most profitable for you or how much funding came in during each month. Now, the last few big reports are found here on our Money tab. We have household balances. Now, this is an important piece of the system that if somebody had household balance, so we can go ahead and let's just give my fake user a refund so we have an example. So you see here now that there is a household balance, I have a credit balance showing right here. For those of you who need to clear a balance because you only allow it to be used during a certain fiscal year, please make sure that you go to the household balance tab. You can filter it by just those with household credit instead of those who owe you funds. And you'll be able to select the household name, manage credit, and manually debit the amount from their account. That way you can be sure that you have cleared all the credits from your system to start the new fiscal year. Now, the last report is the invoice list. The invoice list I love because you can run you can do it for the full year. You can even filter by programs, memberships, reservations, point of sale, or you see all these other categories here. Sorry about that, everyone. And then you'll get to hit the apply search. So once you've hit the apply search button, what it's going to look like is you'll have all the invoices here. Now, some of you use that close status. It is a recommended workflow that we offer for those of you who use security deposits so that you can have an easy way to know who you've refunded security deposits to. Please note when you export to Excel, all right, there we go. Now that it opened, that you want the invoice status. A lot of those closed invoices you'll know pretty quickly are your reservations. And if you add in this type option, it will also let you filter by reservations instead of anything else to verify that status. And again, this is another great report that you can pull to Excel, and you can use a pivot table to reorganize and restructure the data based on the report styles you're being asked for. So you can see here, that's how it lists that information, PGM or programs, res for reservation, MBR for memberships, and point of sale for point of sale. And as you can see, we get this super nice breakdown. Do we have any other questions? If not, I'm just going to go over a reminder of where everyone can locate our support center as well as our resources.
Jen, you are free to go over those reminders. We do not have any questions at the moment.
Awesome. All right, everyone. So many of you may already know about our support center, the big orange button right here. Please make sure that you check this out if you have a quick question. A lot of times we've worked really hard to make these articles include as much information as possible, including finance and money management. We tried being super clear when we labeled these articles. There are also little GIFs. There might be photos to be able to assist you along the way. Now, for those of you who are more visual learners, please note if you scroll all the way down to the bottom at any time, you can not only reach out to us at support by calling us or sending us an email asking for help, but you can also click on our YouTube channel right here and see if we happen to have a video based on the information that you're looking for. Now, those of you who are actual RecDesk customers have access to even more videos. They're found here in our resources. And you're going to see that some are going to be listed here under training videos. And these are super helpful for those of you who get any new employees. We have helpful workflows that we've added here as well. For specific workflows, we've heard from you guys that would be really helpful if you had quicker access to instead of having to call us, as well as some quick lists to our recent PowerUps, latest release notes, and then another quick link to our support center. But other than that, that's all you'll need to know for your end of year reporting with RecDesk. And we will keep this room open. So if you have any questions, please feel free to type that into the chat box. And I hope everyone has a great day.
Yes, thank you everybody for attending. And like Jen said, if you have any questions, please feel free to type in that chat box. And we'll be happy to take a look at them for you. Otherwise, we hope you have a great rest of your Wednesday. Jen, will they be able to access this recording later on?
Absolutely. I typically try to get it posted before 5 o'clock Eastern after we do this meeting, but please forgive me if I don't get it posted until tomorrow morning. But but typically by tomorrow morning, it will be on our YouTube channel and hopefully under our resources.
Yep, absolutely. Great question. Thank you.